There we go.
Perfect. That's what I like to see.
What's up, Previews World? It is Wednesday. It is New Comic Book Day, which means it's time for Previews World Weekly. And if you haven't guessed by now, today's show is going to be a mess. We're already late. That's on me. And
Not necessarily.
Well, maybe not necessarily. I don't know what happened before I got here. But I am one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen.
I'm your other host, Ashton Greenwood, a.k.a. the Duchess of Free Comic Book Day. And that moniker is relevant again.
It is, yes
We're
it is.
transitioning out of the off-season, as I like to call it, into like the window of excitement. I have no other better way
The
to
window of
put that.
excitement? No, I think that's fair. I think that's very fair.
I mean, a lot of people seemed excited yesterday. We announced the gold titles. So if you guys haven't seen that yet, there's 13 gold sponsor comics, gold titles, whatever you want to call them, that you can get for free this year at Free Comic Book Day. Before we jump into the titles, though, I feel like I have to address the gold versus silver thing, because I see this question every year, and I feel like I've seen it more this year maybe than in previous years.
Oh, okay, I wasn't on camera. I'm like rolling my eyes so hard right now. Yeah, go ahead.
So it's really just a way to mark which books are going to be available at each shop, right? So the gold titles are the books that all of the retailers that are participating shops order, and they're required to have these to be marked as like a participating shop. So if it's a gold title, you'll definitely see it at a participating comic book shop on Free Comic Book Day.
Which is fair. I think that's fair, and that's important. Yeah.
I mean, you have to demarcate who's participating and who's not in some way. The silver titles aren't required, so the retailers can order them in any number they see fit, as many or as few as they feel is appropriate for their particular customer base. So those aren't as guaranteed. So it's really just a way to differentiate between which titles you will definitely see and which titles you might see.
Yeah.
Okay, so with all of that having been said, now that I've monologued, did you get a chance to see the list of gold books?
I did. I saw some of them.
Some of them,
And
okay.
I saw people being a little saucy with Marvel. They were like, "Oh, Marvel revealed their covers this year."
I saw that too.
I saw it a couple of times.
That is true. Historically, Marvel has been really tight-lipped about it until like February.
All right, yeah. So
Like
I mean, shout out to them.
Yeah. A lot of Trojan X support. I saw a lot of people on Twitter excited about the Viz Media book, Trojan X.
Okay.
Lots of hype about that. If you want to see the full list, freecomicbookday.com or Free Comic Book Day on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We'll have the whole list.
Yeah.
There's, of course, an Archie book, 2 Marvel titles. Aftershock is in there. I'm excited about that Cursed Library book.
That's kind of interesting, actually.
Allegedly, they're going to try and get to the bottom of why Riverdale is such a trash fire all the time, which I think is a great concept.
I think that's a great concept. Maybe Riverdale has its own Hellmouth. Like, I'd be into that, actually.
Right?
Absolutely. Oh, John, you can keep scrolling. I want to see some more of these. I want to show some of these off. Because what we got? We got Red Sonja, of course, right? Oh, Ranger Academy, right? I actually forgot about that.
There was some Power Rangers hype on Twitter.
Definitely Power Ranger stuff. We got Umbrella Academy, I saw.
Yeah.
Right.
Also The Witcher.
The Witcher, yeah. Like those, I can totally understand why Dark Horse would zero in on both of those things. Yeah, the Red Sonja number 0, and what else?
That's their 50th anniversary too, so that could be really cool.
Oh yes, right. A Dogman and the League of Misfits.
Captain Underpants, iconic.
Captain Underpants, Star Trek, yeah, that's right. And Fish Flies, Jeff Lemire, which is actually pretty cool. Loving Muko. This is that's definitely a manga thing that I'm not
that's
familiar with.
Kodansha, and that one's kind of cool because there's a second story in there that they haven't announced yet that they'll be announcing at Anime NYC this weekend.
Oh, okay, cool, perfect. We'll be talking about Anime NYC later.
Yeah.
Some drama.
There's gonna be a lot of drama at that event, apparently.
Yeah. Marvel.
Yeah.
Yep. The Avengers and the X-Men. I think there's definitely slated for a crossover.
Yeah.
Titan Comics actually coming out with their new. So Conan the Barbarians exchanged hands quite a bit.
Yeah, we talked about that
in the last couple of years. Yeah, and so it was at Marvel for a period. I think prior to that it was at. Don't get me lying. Oh, Ablaze. It was at Ablaze. In a very short period of time. It's just kind of like it's just transferred from publisher to publisher. Now it's at Titan.
Right.
So yeah, I guess that's their opening salvo into this is our version of Conan.
Yeah, which is a great way to do it. I mean, you get a lot of eyes on it at Free Comic Book Day.
Absolutely, and this is also the Trojan X, right?
Yeah.
Not Trojan X.
I think that's something else.
That's something else. Trojan X, yeah. Which actually the cover alone caught my eye.
Yeah.
Like I was like, what is this? This is kind of interesting. So, yeah, go to freecomicbookday.com. Stay updated, and Silver's coming
tomorrow.
Okay.
So tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time, it'll be the full list of books, which is north of 40. Can't tell you exactly how many because got to keep a secret, but it'll be north of 40, and all of that'll be 1 o'clock tomorrow. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and the Free Comic Book Day website. Oh, and TikTok. Can't forget about TikTok.
No, can't forget about TikTok. TikTok's been our friend lately, so
Yeah.
we've been really happy with the progress on TikTok. Black Panther did come out this week, right? Wakanda Forever.
It did.
I just want to tell people, hey, so we're bad nerds. We haven't seen the movie yet. Sorry.
Whoopsie.
Oops.
Ooh.
And I know the blurred community is probably going to like revoke my card at some point in time.
You're not allowed. You're not welcome anymore.
If it goes by another week and I haven't seen the movie, I'm going to be in big trouble.
You have Mystical Green Beanie in the comments section.
Of course. Actually, no. This is the type of thing the Mystical Green Beanie would like dig in about. He just would be like, I'm not going to see it.
Lame.
But I am looking forward to it. But I wanted to at least give the audience a chance to react, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
in the comments, spoiler-free reactions only. Do not spoil anything. Like I've seen some stuff already on Facebook. Haven't been very upset because it kind of seems like, it's kind of what I expected.
Okay.
But at the same time, for the sake of everybody else, don't spoil anything. But just say, hey, thumbs up, thumbs in the middle, thumbs down. Maybe a little bit of this. Let us know in the comments. A little come see, come saw. All right.
Comments.
Comments already. What's up, comments?
Hi, friends.
Annie Fox checking in first, as always.
Hiya.
Saying hiya.
What's up, Annie?
And our good friend Marty Grosser saying Dark Horse 2. I think we said Dark Horse.
For what?
For the
Free
Free
Comic
Comic Book Day announcement.
Yeah. We talked about Umbrella Academy and Witcher.
Yep.
And what else?
That's it for
cool. All right. Let's get into some comic book stuff, right? More comic book stuff, I guess I should say. Right?
I did not select a comic book this week.
You didn't actually. That's right. I just realized
Yeah.
that. But that's okay because your comic shop is home to more than just comics, right?
Sure.
So let's do what's at comic shops. Ashton and I are going to give you our picks.
You're going to give us your picks.
Right. Yeah. We're going to give us your picks. You guys give us your picks too in the comments if you want. But we're going to give you guys our picks and then we're going to show you what's available and we'll have a trailer for you. So check this out. All right. Why don't you explain yourself, Ashton? Why are you not picking comic books this week?
I mean, you already said it. Your comic book shop is home to more than just comics. You can get toys, collectibles, apparel, and games, which is what I picked this week, guys. I picked a board game. I've been on a huge board game kick the last 2 years, and I mean that was to some extent inspired by the pandemic.
You're right. Yeah, that was definitely a boon for board games and comic books. Actually,
yeah, definitely.
People are looking for something else besides streaming television.
Staring at the ceiling. So my pick is Avatar: The Last Airbender Fire Nation Rising, board game from USAopoly. It's a cooperative strategy game, card and dice game.
Oh.
So I love a co-op board games. I actually just played my first co-op board game earlier this year. It's called Pandemic, which is, a little close to home, but it's a fantastic game. If you guys haven't played it, highly recommend. Anyway, the plot of this game largely follows the plot of the show, which I can appreciate. The first thing you need to do is gather all of your allies together for the Day of Black Sun so that you can go and try and attack the Fire Nation.
Okay.
And then when that inevitably fails, you'll have to then gather all of your allies again for 3 different battles in order to defeat the Fire Nation at home. So I imagine those 3 battles will be like Aang versus Ozai, Azula and Zuko in the final Agni Kai, and then like the rest of the gang, if you will, versus like the Fire Nation Air Force, essentially. Since the last 2 episodes of the season are kind of hallmarked by these 3 major battles. So I assume that's what you're building towards in this game. It also has like a little Fire Lord Ozai, like one-of-a-kind figure that you can only get in this board game. Like it's not sold separately in any capacity. And even though Fire Lord Ozai mega sucks, I'm all for like a collectible. I'll take it.
You'll take it.
I'm into this. I actually really want to get this and make my friends play it with me. There's cool pictures I found that aren't on the PREVIEWSworld website.
I was going to say, we don't have any additional pictures on the website.
No, but I'll have to like hook up Michelle with those so she can add them because the art on the cards is insanely cool.
Okay,
it's really good. It's really vibrant. The board game itself too is really vibrant. It's a lot of like the blues and oranges you see in the final battle in the last episode of the series.
Okay.
So I'm all about it.
All right. No, I mean that actually sounds like a lot of fun. So, especially if you're an Avatar fan. So yeah, just a little something different, just to mix it up, but extends the storytelling experience for the reader. So absolutely. My pick this week is actually Teflon Funk. And this is a comic I've been meaning to read for a while. And the only reason I really haven't read it is because I don't really do web comics like that.
Fair
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not something that I'm really firmly plugged into. But now it's in trade from Dark Horse Comics. And I'm like, well, hey, this is perfect for me. So what is Teflon Funk? Well, long story short, it's a drug.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and it's a drug that hits the streets in New York City in the mid-1990s. And so essentially what you have with this story is a crime drama. But it's also a character drama on top of that, and features these particular characters whose stories kind of intersect because of the drug Teflon Funk. And you get a lot of, there's like basically a conflict, of course, at the heart of this, where people are trying to acquire the drug itself, right? Or other intersecting dramas around that as well. And so it's loaded with 90s hip hop and anime references, which is actually kind of fun, and influences actually visually. But it's still very much a story about characters way in over the head in the drug game, which is always kind of fun to read.
Love that.
I always love those stories. Like, that's always my favorite ones. Like, you know, when Ray Liotta starts doing too much cocaine, that's when Goodfellas gets really good.
There's like a weird Riverdale subplot at one point. Also, I love the random naming of drugs in other media. There's like a Riverdale side quest with a drug called Jingle Jangle.
Jingle Jangle.
Yeah, and like Reggie and maybe Archie to some extent are like selling Jingle Jangle, and it's a whole thing.
What is
Oh, and the great thing about Jingle Jangle is you do it out of like a pixie stick, basically.
Oh, okay, great. Was Jingle Jangle, is that a reference to something in Archie?
I don't know.
That's interesting. That's hilarious.
Anything in Riverdale that could either be a reference or just completely asinine garbage.
Riverdale's wild. Every time then you mention something, I'm like, I should watch this show because this just seems insane to me. But then I'm like, should I? But anyway, yes, Teflon Funk is a surefire concept just because it's it's basically a story about characters way in over the heads, you know, which is always a fun drama. The art is by Nicholas Safe and David Taco.
Taco?
Yeah, Taco or Taco, Tako. I might be saying that
I
wrong.
want it to be Taco.
But I want it to be
so
Taco.
Badly.
But you know, they're also both French. So this whole thing just kind of, my pronunciation of this might go out the window completely.
We're being rude.
We're probably being rude. But it gives me soft, the artwork style, it gives me soft Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo vibes.
Okay, I can see why you'd say that.
Like, I mean, it's kind of got the energy. And I also love the fact that it looks like it's moving. I always kind of find that kind of fascinating about like certain artists. Some artists, they're good at drawing static images, but they don't really get the motion of something. And some artists are just like really good at just making those pages come alive. And these two are definitely great at that. So yeah, long time for me, but I'm eager to dive in. It's available this week from Dark Horse Comics. Teflon Funk. There you go. I'm trying to get my blurred cred back because that's another book that's like, you know, kind of been well loved.
I feel like we mentioned it on the show before.
I actually did an interview with the whole creative team like about a few months ago, and I think I might have mentioned the interview on the show. And if you're looking at our social media at PREVIEWSworld this week, you're probably going to see it on.
Yeah,
see it pop back up. Yeah, so yeah, worth a read. It gives you a little insight into the creative process for the book, and yeah, it just made me more fascinated with it, really, because I was never 100% sure what it was about. And then I finally dove in, and I was like, oh, okay, it's kind of like this 90s crime drama. I like that. That's cool.
We have some comments.
More comments. What we got in the comments section?
So Marty was clarifying, he said that Conan was at Dark Horse also.
Oh, yes. Yeah, but but that's also not, I guess that's, it went from Dark Horse to Marvel to Ablaze, and now it's at Titan. If I remember correctly. Okay, got it.
Jay Dudley saying, the Avatar game looks awesome. Love a good co-op.
Okay, nice. Not alone.
Yes. I'm incredibly excited. I'm going to round up my friends.
There you go.
And Marty's also saying that he saw Wakanda Forever over the weekend. He really enjoyed it. And the introduction of Namor, lots of character moments, and world rebuilding in the aftermath of the death of, and it got cut off, so I'm assuming
the death of who?
Chadwick Boseman, I'm assuming.
Gotta be the death of Superman. It can't be anyone else.
Oh
Anybody
my gosh. Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense if it was anyone but
What
Superman.
a twist!
What a twist, right, exactly.
Let's see here. Our favorite troll is here, Mystical Green Beanie.
Oh, geez.
Cut it.
Teflon Funk, funded by Ronald Reagan by way of Black Dynamite.
This man is like Beetlejuice. You just say his name and he appears with just some random
And he only leaves one comment.
randomness.
He just leaves one comment and he scurries
we
away.
won't hear from him again the rest
No,
of
I'm
the
saying
show.
for real, that actually sounds pretty dope.
Okay, all right. Thank you for being genuine here in the comments, Mystical Green Beanie.
I do have one thing I want to add to this
What's
as
up?
well.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah, you do. That's
first
right.
of all, off of Ashton's game choice, USAopoly actually first started this whole Rising franchise with a game called Thanos Rising.
Oh, okay.
Not long after
Oh,
the
yeah,
Infinity
that's right.
saga kind of ended. Then there was also, they've expanded this. So they have other games that have this concept. They have Dark Side Rising, which is Star Wars themed.
Okay.
Oh.
And this also might be up your alley. They have Plankton Rising from SpongeBob SquarePants.
Stop it.
Yes.
I hope the plot is to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula.
Oh, that'd be great, actually.
It probably is. So.
Who do you play as? I have questions.
There's so many questions.
I don't know. I just looked it up, so I don't know exactly how the game mechanics work, but I'm sure it's because since they all have this rising type mentality, and there was also like DC did one like the Batman Who Laughs Rising as well,
Oh, they did? Okay.
man.
and
Batman
Harry
Who
Potter one like Death Eaters Rising.
They
as
got
well.
all the big ones. Okay, nice.
Yeah, so USAopoly is killing it, and the game mechanic. I played Thanos Rising. It's actually a lot of fun.
It's called Plankton Rising?
Plankton Rising.
All right.
Okay.
Ashton's going to be looking this up right now. So
Yeah. You know.
why don't we?
Tell us
I-
about your pick, Johnny.
yeah, what's your
I do
other
have
pick?
a pick myself actually because it is the day I have long awaited, and it is finally time for Gert to make her illustrious comeback in I Hate Fairyland #1.
So we definitely did a whole episode with Scotty Young talking about this book, and Johnny was part of it, and I think it was very clear that Johnny was a big fan about this. You want to give people some insight?
I don't know what you're talking about.
That sounds silly. Johnny's not a fan.
I could have, I didn't just like fanboy over him for a while. We actually, so we got to talk to Scotty Young about the first run of I Hate Fairyland, which was about 20 issues, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really great. It was a lot of fun. He was a really cool, fun guy, real fun interview. But this iteration of I Hate Fairyland, Gert she's basically the series left off where she has escaped Fairyland and she's now kind of part of the real world. And I'm assuming that she's going to go back into Fairyland somehow. I think a couple of the images you can find on the Previews website has her working at like a fast food hot dog stand or something like that. So, I'm a huge Scotty Young fan. So Scotty Young is not doing the art this time. I think it's an artist named Brett Bean, who I believe worked on Rocket and Groot.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, but Scotty Young is writing it. So, but the Brett Bean has a similar art style, so it's going to carry over pretty nicely from the previous iteration of I Hate Fairyland. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's my pick for this week.
All right, cool. Shout out to Scotty Young because, I noticed, he's starting to branch out now and do more writing instead of artwork. But he's getting people that are definitely similar to his style. So it's kind of cool that he's putting people on. You know what I mean? He's bringing people into the fold so that new readers or his readers can see their artwork as well. That's always cool.
Wait, I looked up Plankton Rising.
Yeah, what'd you get?
Figured it out. Okay. Take on the roles of your favorite Bikini Bottom characters such as SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward. Using a combination of strategy and luck, players will attempt to take down Plankton from atop the chum bucket and thwart his plans to steal a Krabby Patty secret formula.
Oh, it's perfect. That's exactly what you said.
Exactly. And I can play as Patrick.
Do you want to just leave? You want to just go purchase yours today? That's hilarious, actually.
Couple more comments before we
more
head into
comments. What's up, comments?
What's the Comic Shops with Mia. Steve White saying good afternoon, folks.
What's up,
Hey.
Ubaldo is here again.
Steve? Hey,
Hello,
what's up,
everybody.
Ubaldo?
And Steve White is also asking, do I need to read the first series before picking up the new I Hate Fairyland? I would recommend it, Steve. I think that if you don't read it, you might be a little bit lost. Although I haven't really seen anything about the new series of I Hate Fairyland because I want to kind of just go into it free of spoilers. So it's possible you might be able to just jump into it, but there might be a little bit of the backstory that you might need some catching up on. But I mean, it is a #1, so
That's what I was going to ask.
I'm hoping that they should be able to just pick it up for new readers and just
Right.
be able to jump right in.
All right. But I mean, also, I Hate Fairyland is 20 issues, right? That's what you said, the first series. So it's not like the superhero books where it's you got 1,000 comics.
750.
You need to read as far back as 1963.
Right. Some 1930 something. So yeah, no, I like that. Okay, cool. 3 recommends this week. Make sure you check them out at your local comic shop. And on top of that, we're going to break your wallet by showing you what's at comic shops this week and a trailer. So here we go. Let's dive in.
Do you know what new comics are coming out this week? No? Well, let's take a look. Here's what's at comic shops for the week of November 16th, 2022. And we're just getting started. The world of comics has even more to offer. So, stop at a shop already, and you might just find your new favorite thing. See ya!
Oh, the date's wrong. Okay, the date's wrong on the trailer because it actually came out today from Skybound and Image Comics. That's Chroma, which was also featured in our What's at Comic Shops rundown with Animia. Shout out to Animia, of course. Chroma was actually the other book I was going to pick this week because it kind of caught my attention just based off the artwork. It's kind of like a fantasy horror thing, which is kind of interesting.
Sure.
I got kind of like soft Pan's Labyrinth, Guillermo del Toro vibes from it.
Okay.
And I feel like the trailer kind of underlined that for me. But for your interest, Ashton,
I'm ready. Hit me with it.
it's the artist behind Oblivion Song. So like, yeah, so it's, you know, if you're a fan of Robert Kirkman's work, which I know you are, it's, you know, this artist in particular is kind of doing the writing and art duties on this one and doing like a fantasy horror thing. So yeah, it's kind of cool. It's interesting. If you're a fan, check it out. It's out this week at your local comic shop. Let's dive into some news.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I know. We got to get a little somber. You guys seen the thumbnail. You know we're going to talk about it. But let's just dive into it. Here's this week's news.
Oh, we're being respectful. Understood. There's no like news.
No thunderous news from Johnny this week.
Understood.
Right.
Understood. It honestly caught me off guard because I was like anticipating it. Yeah. Okay, so let me not be rude. Kevin Conroy. So, of course, best known for voicing Batman on Batman the Animated Series, has passed after battle with cancer at 66, which is way too young. So to give some background on probably his most beloved piece of work, Batman the Animated Series originally aired for 85 episodes from 1992 to 1995. And his deep, gravelly voice that he gave to Batman was widely acclaimed by critics and comic book fans, and made a lot of people consider him kind of the definitive Caped Crusader.
Oh yeah.
And he was so beloved for his work on Batman's voice that he was brought back to work on other DC projects in various capacities, Batman Arkham and the Injustice video games, as well as Batman Gotham Knight, Superman Batman Public Enemies, and Batman the Killing Joke, just to name a few, because it's a very, very long list of the Batman work that he's done. The 2019 Justice League animated film is Conroy's last credited feature as Batman. And his most recent video game credit was as Batman in Warner Brothers Multiversus from earlier this year.
Wait, what was his last credit?
Justice League is his last animated film credit.
Oh, last animated film credit. Okay, gotcha. Okay, I was like, wait a minute, the Zack Snyder movie? But okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Gotcha, understood. Yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of funny because the joke has been for a while that no two people agree on who the best live action Batman is,
of course
right?
not.
Like you're gonna love Michael Keaton. Some people are gonna older fans are gonna like Adam West. Like you know what I mean? Like there's always gonna be that. But universally, everyone agrees that Kevin Conroy is Batman. At least like he's like the best depiction of Batman on screen. You know what I mean? And I think that's totally fair. I mean, I was reading a couple of weeks ago. I had picked the new Chip Zdarsky run on Batman, the story with Mainframe, and I remembered very distinctly, like this was about 2 weeks ago, flipping through it, and like as I'm reading it, I'm like, I'm hearing Kevin Conroy's voice. Every time every time Batman talks, it's Kevin Conroy's voice. There's nobody else. So it's unfortunate, but to be remembered that way is pretty impressive. That's kind of how I feel about it. Like to not even have to be in the costume, and people are like, no, he's Batman.
Right, literally.
I think that's kind of awesome. So yeah, shout out to Kevin Conroy, absolutely. What else we got?
Moving on. Okay. Trying to be polite.
No, that's okay.
So James Tynion the fourth I love the fourth. I feel the need to say it. He's starting his own comics press. So he announced earlier this week that in partnership with Dark Horse Comics, he'll be launching the Tiny Onion Studios, which will function as an imprint of Dark Horse.
I just got that.
So
Tiny Onion.
So did I.
I just got that.
You know what? I don't know that I would have clocked that if you hadn't pointed it out.
Just now. I literally just like Tiny. Why is he calling it Tiny Onion? That's so weird. And I was like, oh, okay.
Understood.
Tinian.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, sorry.
It's clever. It's clever.
What else we got?
I lost my spot. Oh, okay. Tiny Onion Studios has served as the home for Tynion's self-published work since he first launched it on Substack last year. And so he'll continue publishing digitally on that service, but Dark Horse will handle physical sales and distribution of his printed comics.
Okay, all right, yeah.
And so this will be launching next year in February 2023. So I assume it's probably in the December will be in the December catalog, whatever what his first book will be, which will be called Blue Book. So I suppose keep an eye out for that in the December catalog if you want to get your hands on that.
All right, yeah. I mean, look, there's a handful of writers that I hear repeatedly discussed. Right? And Tynion is definitely one of them, for sure. Like, I mean, between Something's Killing the Children, Department of Truth, like, people really show up for this guy. So, I can't blame him for getting his own imprint and wanting to make good on, like, his digital comics by getting them printed through Dark Horse.
Yeah.
Sounds like a swell deal. Speaking of Something is Killing the Children, I have to point this out. We just did an episode of The Panel about Something is Killing the Children, and glowing reviews. I mean, like, it's always really encouraging when we send the books out to our panelists. And of course, two of them work for Boom. But like, we send the books out to our panelists and like, at the very least, Mia and Natasha, who don't work for Boom, right? We're like, this is really good. Like there was like immediate confirmation of that as they read it.
Right, so, and those are two very opinionated ladies.
They are, right, exactly. I mean, that's kind of deal. If you're on PREVIEWSworld, you got to be opinionated. So there you go. But yeah, check that out. The panel, Something is Killing the Children, is on our YouTube page right now. And I think it gets us only on our YouTube page right now. So yeah, if you're on YouTube, be sure to check that out if you're curious about more stuff from James Tynion.
Couple comments.
What we got?
Ubalda says that he's looking forward to the Blade comic.
Yeah,
I think Vampire Nation it is.
Yeah, that caught my attention too. Apparently Blade is the mayor of Vampire Town. I don't quite understand how that works. Or the sheriff. I'm sorry, the sheriff of the Vampire
Neither
Nation.
of those make sense, but
right,
okay.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm kind of curious about how that'll work out. So yeah. And it's also written by Mark Russell, who's actually a really good writer. So
he also says OMG, the trailer for Chroma.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
That's a good trailer.
Good artwork, yeah.
Steve White says he picked up Chroma today from Previews. It looks great.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
He's also saying, sadly, another iconic creator taken from us.
Yeah, there's been a string of them for sure.
And also that James Tynion's work is just incredible.
Okay.
All right, cool.
I need to get to that copy. You gave me a copy of Some Things Killing the Children.
Yeah, because you were originally going to be on the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I got a copy too and I need to read it. So, it comes highly recommended though. So there you go. Let's talk about Nightmite for a second.
Objectively the most hilarious name for something.
So I remember there was a Nightwing comic where the whole thing was just one big page. Like this is something we talked about in the show like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And I believe it got nominated for an Eisner, if I remember
There definitely
correctly.
was a Nightwing nomination at the Eisner,
Yeah.
so it probably was that.
I think it was that. So the creative team is getting a reputation for bold choices, and the latest in those bold choices is
I love a bold choice.
they just introduced Nightmite, and they threw it into the mix.
What
So
is Nightmite?
okay, so all right, how can I explain this? You know what? So Nightmite. So before there was Nightmite, there was Batmite.
Okay.
So I kind of want you to guess what this is. It's very strange.
I'm nervous and worried now because I just saw the word imp and also some chibi artwork, so I'm a little lost.
You know what? And both of those are fair assumptions. All right, so I had to look this up just because, it's weird. Batmite is one of those things that like was already established in DC continuity when I started reading comics.
Okay.
So you just accept it.
You're like, sure, this is a thing.
This is the thing. All right,
right.
cool. Batmite, sure, whatever.
Cool, all right.
But then I realized today, I was like, wait, I have to explain what this is.
Oh no. Oh, that's the worst.
And like, yeah, so I just went to Wikipedia. I don't know if this clarifies anything.
Okay, hit me with it. I'm ready.
And it also kind of contradicts my understanding of the character.
Oh,
but,
okay, great. I love that.
Depicted as a small, childlike man in an ill-fitting Batman costume, Batmite possesses what appears to be near infinite magical powers, but he actually uses highly advanced technology from the fifth dimension that cannot be understood by humans, limited to three-dimensional views. So there you go.
Isn't the fifth dimension isn't that the Wrinkle in Time? Do I not apply Wrinkle in Time logic to this?
I mean,
when you
maybe.
read A Wrinkle in Time, they're like, oh, it's 2 dimensions a square,
I
and then a
never read it,
cube,
yeah.
and then you get the fifth dimension, you fold the piece of paper in half, and you get a wormhole.
Yeah, you pulled the whole third thing. Didn't they do that in? Didn't they also do that in that Christopher Nolan movie? Not Inception. Interstellar. Yeah, didn't they do that too?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I mean, quite possibly.
That movie was bonkers.
I don't know, quite possibly, but like.
Okay, so.
Yeah, Batmite. He's
So full-grown human person, tiny body, hilarious Batman suit. You're like wearing your dad's clothes.
Right.
And he's doing magic or not doing magic?
Apparently technology-based magic. So
what does that mean?
I don't know. The version of the Batmite that I always understood, and keep in mind these things have been retconned like over and over and over again. The version of Batmite that I understood was that he is a delusion of.
That's a fever dream.
Right. He's a delusion of Batman.
Why is he so angry?
I mean, it's also kind of like, he's like ill-tempered.
Oh my God, do you know what that looks like? You know in Invader Zim?
Oh, actually, yeah, it was like a lot of Invader Zim vibes there, actually.
You when like Gurr wears the suit and he like zips himself into the suit.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like a robot underneath, but then the suit is like kind of like, it sloughs around.
Baggy. Yeah. You're right. No, I mean, that's a fair point. I mean, like, I guess the character's older, but that actually isn't actually Invader Zim's like literally right behind you. So yeah, that made me realize.
Oh my God, and Gurr, oh my God, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Wait, come here. I'm going off script.
Off script, there you go.
It's literally this, like, and it zips up. It's the same concept.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, you're right. Gurr, right, that's right, yeah.
You got like the little head piece.
But yeah, so I don't know if I successfully
This is just
explained.
here now for a minute.
That's
I'll
okay.
put it back.
Whatever.
Sorry, Johnny.
Brought to us by Diamond Select Toys.
There you go. Yeah, right. Bought to us by Diamond Select Toys. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't know if I properly explained this. My understanding of Batmite was that the way that Grant Morrison explained it was that Batman's a crazy person.
Okay, yeah.
And he
That
did
checks out.
Right, and so this was one of his delusions from like when he basically his brain cracked.
Oh, I love that.
Which was great.
That's a brilliant idea.
It was great. And then like Batman lost his mind again, and Batmite showed up and was like, "Hey, you're going crazy. you need to go back in. You know?
Maniac, hallucinating
Right.
superheroes.
So that was always that's probably the closest I've ever been. I'll be honest with you. Every time Batmite showed up in something, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna roll with this, but I'm not really engaging with it directly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a Silver Age character when like there wasn't a lot of continuity through the books, and they were kind of trying to do everything. You know, it was like a really weird thing. But anyway, long story short, I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Nightlight now.
That is what we were talking about.
That
That's
is
right.
what we were talking about, right? Because yeah, just very strange, very odd thing to introduce into the continuity. But I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know what version of the multiverse DC is in now. I just kind of pick up DC books and just roll with it and assume that it connects to something at this point because they've relaunched so many times.
Like honestly, to me, that he looks like a character like that would be from the same dimension as Mr. Mxyzptlk.
So that was a part.
Do we have a picture of Nightlight?
Yeah, wasn't didn't he throw up on screen? Or was that Batmite that you threw on screen?
No,
No pictures from the article.
Yep, I'm getting there.
Okay. No, so actually the funny thing is the Wikipedia page describes him as as similar to Mr. Mxyzptlk. I can never say his character's name.
Oh, okay.
Similar to Mr. Mxyzptlk, which I'm probably saying it wrong.
I mean, I know
Yeah,
who
there
you're
you
talking
go.
about. I am
Yeah, it just
beside myself right now.
You're right. It just never quite made a lot of sense to me, and I always kind of glossed over it in terms of where it is in the continuity. I got to be real with you, but people have fans of him. People are definitely fans of this character. I actually kind of like that cover.
That's cool.
That's a fun character. That's a fun cover.
Yeah.
It's got some weird like Rick and Morty vibes to it or something.
100%.
Let's switch over to Attack on Titan because I don't think we got any answers from that portion of the news segment.
Although it's funny, Steve White is commenting, DC likes to bring in these types of funny characters, like in Superman with Mr. Mxyzptlk.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I mean, it's just
And
DC
Marty's actually saying that the correct pronunciation is Mxyzptlk.
What?
Well, that's part. Yeah, that's part of the thing with the character is like you got to pronounce his name, and you can defeat him if you do. And
If he if he says his name backwards or
Man,
types
that's
it out
great.
backwards.
That's brilliant. Who came up with that?
Yeah, this is like, again, DC. I want to say DC in the '60s.
That's clever, dude.
Which indicates all sorts of things going on in DC.
Sure.
Office in the '60s.
Yeah, if you remember the 60s, you weren't there.
So, all right, let's talk about Attack on Titan real quick. We talked about Anime USA, and we said we had some drama.
Oh, yeah, Anime
What's going
NYC is this weekend. And Kodansha posted on their Instagram page the other day a message from the creator of Attack on Titan. This will be his first visit to the U.S. in any capacity, attending any show.
Oh, ever?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting, huh?
And so he left a note basically saying, like, I know everyone has mixed feelings about how Attack on Titan ended, and I would love to have conversations with you guys about how you feel about how it ended, but please be kind when we're discussing, which is, by all accounts, kind of concerning that you would need to tell somebody that.
Yeah, that's a little weird. Now, that makes me wonder, actually. As you were saying this, I was like, is this because he's had, like, aggressive encounters in Japan? Or is it because the American audience has been way more aggressive and he's kind of bracing for impact on his way here?
Bet you it's that.
I wonder. I seriously wonder. No, look, the Japanese fans can get pretty wild too.
That's fair.
Like there's some wild stories about fandom in Japan. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and act like there isn't. But yeah, I just thought about that as you were saying that. That's interesting.
Yeah. Now I'm wondering.
Yeah. Look, finales in general, right? Are, from a creative standpoint, are tough, right?
Sure.
And I understand that. But there's this new thing about, like, there's been this new trend of fans getting upset about the finale and wanting to retcon it in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
And I've seen a lot of this with, like, video games. I think it was Mass Effect, actually, that upset a lot of people, and they were demanding that they just redo the ending, and I think they actually did. Even down to the Justice League, I would say, is kind of like a product of this too, right? Like they had a version of Justice League that hit theaters. The fans complained, and they said, "No, do it again," and they did. So,
which is both impressive and concerning, and a different conversation.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I guess you could get into this whole toxic fandom thing with it.
Oh God, yeah.
I always kind of seesaw with that. Like on one side, I'm like, yes, it's valid. Of course it's valid. Like there are fans that just do too much, right? But on the other side, I'm like, You should have done it right the first time.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I don't
and
know.
also, I feel like there should be a little bit of like, stick to your guns. Like if that's the ending you had in mind and you were proud of that ending and that's where you saw it going, like you need to double down on that. That's your ending. Like you're out here getting bullied by people on the internet.
Yeah, no, I mean there is an aspect of that too, which is like, you know, it's your creation. Like if this is how you want to walk out, but they did, I just thought about it. They did the same thing with Neon Genesis Evangelion. There's been quite a bit of this in the last couple of years of just like, all right, let's go back and do the ending all over again because the fans were upset. And I mean, I don't know, I'm 50-50 on that.
I think fan service is really dangerous because, I mean, I guess Star Wars is a giant victim of this.
Yeah.
Like you try to accomplish a thing because you think that's what people want, or what is more common is like a very vocal sect of fans have said this is what they want. So you do it thinking you're providing some sort of fan service, and it doesn't land because you've only taken into account, you know, a quarter or half of your fan base.
Which I really think is what happened with the Snyder Cut, to be honest. Like I feel like there was a very loud vocal minority online, and HBO misread that as we should go back and spend more money on this thing that we already spent a lot of money on. You know what I mean?
Make it twice as long for no good
reason.
reason.
No reason.
Got to get those slow-mo shots of Superman walking on screen.
And like the weird music video stuff that was going on in it. But like, yeah, and like that's also part of it too. Yeah, I'm always mixed on this. Like it's kind of like the yes, no aspect of like, you know, you'll hear, I'll be on YouTube and someone get into the toxic fandom thing and they'll be like, yeah. Oh no, no, that's too far. You went too far. And I mean, it could be anti-fans, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, or pro-toxic fans. I don't know what you want to call it. It's so
Anti-fans.
It's so goofy, but you know, it's one of those things. Anyway, I don't know. Is there a finale that you are familiar with that you think of that's like, oh man, they should have done that over?
I mean, like Game of Thrones is the obvious one. I had no real vested interest in it, but like my mom and my brother did, and a bunch of my cousins, and I was just hearing about that ending for like weeks.
Yeah, Game of Thrones is interesting because it was the thing that people talked about for like 7 years straight, I want to say, just nonstop. I was not invested in it. I watched the first season, I was like, oh, it's well done, and I just kind of like moved on. I kind of had like Lost trauma from Lost.
Oh, I was going to bring that one up too, which you beat me to it. Ooh.
So anything that's like a really long form TV show story, I'm like, I am not spending 7 years watching this.
So here's my hot take on Lost. I actually liked, I would say probably like 80% of Lost.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
I liked most of it. And I actually liked a lot of the final season. And then the very last episode, they ruined like some of the best television, in my opinion, that's ever taken place. Like the flash forward, flash back, and flash sideways thing, I thought was brilliant.
It's interesting, yeah.
It's a great concept.
It's an interesting concept, yeah.
And then you're all just in purgatory for what reason?
For what reason? Well, the thing that really, this is going to turn into a whole conversation. It already is a whole conversation. The thing that really got me about Lost and the purgatory thing is like I think it was Damon Lindelof specifically said that it wasn't purgatory.
So then what was it? It was all in church? Why?
Right.
What
Well,
is it?
I mean, like he said this like back on season 3 or 4 or something like that. He was like, everybody's like, oh, it's purgatory.
I thought you were saying he said it again after the fact. And I was like,
No. I think it was Damon Lindelof. Someone on the show was like, someone with authority on the show was like, it's not purgatory, because the fans were all against, oh, it's purgatory. And then it kind of, and even still, when I talk to my like friends about this who actually like the show, they're like, it's not purgatory. And I'm like,
what are they saying?
Sounds like purgatory to me.
Like, okay, so you're saying it's not purgatory. Fine. What is it then?
You're right. So I don't know. Maybe it's my own ignorance, but yeah, I was fed up with that. And so anything long form like that, I just kind of like tap out. I guess the biggest butthurt would be Star Wars for me at this point.
Oh my God, yes. I was not even going to touch that one.
Yeah, and that started kind of early. Like once the prequel dropped, I was like, I'm sorry, not the prequels. Although the prequels, I will put that category. I know how you, and like I've reevaluated the prequels, and I don't think they're all that bad, like a lot of people have in light of the sequels. Yeah, the fan service, right? Like it's just, you kind of hit a point where you're like, okay, well now this is just creatively bankrupt.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like you're not just telling a story, you're just kind of reacting and just kind of pivoting to that reaction nonstop, and it's like, well, why am I invested in this then? So
like if I had to narrow down and pick one specific thing that's like an ending or like a way to work towards an ending that I'm particularly grumpy about, it would be the sentence, Palpatine came back somehow.
Somehow.
Are you kidding me?
Right. Just don't commit to it at all. Man, by that point, it had kind of already been like, I'm out, I'm good. Like, I don't even think I saw that until like it came on television, actually, the last one. But yeah, fan service is a mixed bag. I'm not going to say it's all bad. I'm not going to say it's all good.
You know what I just remembered else about whatever that last one's called, Rise of Skywalker? They do this whole movie.
Rise of Skywalker.
They do this whole movie, right? They call it Rise of Skywalker, even though that's irrelevant.
Yes.
And they do a bunch of things in it that make no sense at all to do, that are incredibly upsetting to like pretty much everyone that watches this movie. And then they make it even worse with the novelization of it.
Oh,
and
right.
doubled down on
What happened in the novelization? It was like it was a different detail, right?
Yeah, they were like, it's when Rey and Kylo Ren kiss at the end of it in the novelization. They're like, it was a friendly kiss.
Yeah, there's too many fingers in that pie, and again, it's a mixed bag. I can't always say that it's the fans' fault, but you kind of maintain artistic integrity.
Right.
I guess that's the long form of it. Like the long version of it is the short version of it. Is you got to maintain some artistic integrity, right? All right, it is like 2:50, so we got to get through the next couple of things very quickly. Black Panther reactions. Did we get any more? Just Marty's?
My reaction is I will see it.
I will see it too. Yeah, absolutely. In light of the Kevin Conroy thing, I'm going to just point this out. I feel some kind of way about the cringe factor especially of like tribute memes, I guess is the best way to put it. Tribute posts.
Sure, I know what you're talking about.
Not all of them are in bad taste, but the ones that are really in bad taste hit really hard. And I had my share with the Black Panther when Chadwick Boseman passed away, because there was a lot of like, Kobe Bryant welcoming Chadwick Boseman to heaven. I even saw one Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. I'm just like, please stop. Please don't do this.
I could get Kobe because at least it was the same year. Like,
right.
There's a bit of a through line there, but you're reaching with MLK.
Right. It's just like, come on, guys. And I definitely saw some cringe. I don't want to bully. I don't want to make fun of these people, but at the same time, Johnny, can you just show the Kevin?
Put them up if you're going to speak.
No, we shouldn't show him. Maybe
I
we
don't want
shouldn't
to
show
bully
him.
him. I just want to bully him.
I don't know. Like Johnny has some supporting images for it.
I have some ones that are good.
All right, show us a
Let's
good
see some
one.
good ones.
Yeah,
Let's
show
see
us the
some
good one.
tasteful.
Like here's one from artist Bill Sienkiewicz.
There you go. All right, yes.
Ooh,
And there you go.
That's from his Instagram account.
that's really good.
And there you go. Tasteful, very artfully done, which you would expect from Bill Sienkiewicz. But then there are some other ones where it's like, the Joker is crying.
Okay, come on. I like this one.
You like
this
that
is
one?
This is MJ Hiblin art, and I actually like this.
Okay.
It's the Joker holding the cape, and it says "Goodbye, old friend." It's almost
get
like
that.
that's kind of like Mark Hamill saying goodbye too, as well.
Okay.
Batman and Joker are kind of like yin and yang. They need each other.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. And then I saw another one where it was just like the Commissioner Gordon giving Batman a note that said from Kevin Conroy saying, "Sorry, I lost my voice," or something like that. And then Batman swings away crying. I'm just like,
He swings away.
yeah, he's just Batman. He got the batarang or something. He swings away tearing up or something like that. It's just
Lame.
cringe. There's no other way to put it. I'm sorry. Sorry I have to be that person. I apologize. But some of you guys don't deserve Photoshop. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say
Ruin it for all of us.
Ruin it for all of us.
I'm
All
gonna
right,
pick one person.
let's get into the Hake's auction real quick because today is the last day.
Oh, it is. It does. It wraps up
And
today.
It wraps up today. So here are the items that are available at Hake's this week. And actually, if you haven't gotten on it yet, you need to because bidding is about to end.
Hake's Auctions is the premier source for all manner of Americana and collectibles, and auction number 236 is now open for bidding. Here are some of the amazing items that you can find over at hakes.com. Be sure to check out the full auction by visiting hakes.com. Closing dates for items in auction 236 are November 15th and 16th. Hakes, America's first collectibles auction house.
I don't know if anybody else had the reaction I had. For a second, the original actor, I can't remember his name for whatever reason, who played Vader, Anakin Skywalker in Return of the Jedi, at the very end of Return of the Jedi. Does that make any sense?
At the end?
Yeah.
Sebastian Stan, I think it was.
His name's Sebastian Stan?
Yeah, Sebastian Shaw.
Oh, Shaw.
And Sebastian Stan, Winter Soldier.
Right, yeah, right.
Hey, he was frozen for 80 years.
Could have been him.
Actually, that actually made me think of something else. But he looked, I don't know, and the toy made him look like Bryan Cranston.
I've lost sight of what we're talking about, but
I
he did
know,
look like
it's
Bryan
okay.
Cranston.
Don't worry about it. Anyway.
Oh, my shoe's untied. Sorry.
This Hake's auction is about to wrap up. Johnny was just telling me that, the video game stuff and the comic book stuff is still going right now. As you saw, there's some heavy hitters in there. You got the first appearance of Wolverine. You have a lot of classic Marvel and DC stuff, a lot of Star Wars action figures, and then on top of that, we mentioned this before, 236 is introducing video games into the mix. That giant size X-Men, whoever gets that's a huge get.
Yeah.
And also that Amazing Spider-Man #1 for that's also going up this week.
And let's talk about the comic book original art, the original Sandman art in there too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Ashton popped a little bit when she saw that. She was like, "Oh!"
Gas.
So yeah, no, there's a lot of cool stuff, and as you can see, original Optimus Prime, just all sorts of awesome stuff. That if you are feeling a little loosey goosey with your wallet, this is the way to go.
Loosey goosey.
Anyway, all right, let's get on to some other stuff here. Actually, I think it's time for the poll.
I was wondering where we were in the show.
Yeah, that's fair. We kind of went all over the place this week. Let's get into some asinine arguments. I have no idea what Ashton's going to say, but we're going to find out. Let's go.
3, 2.
Getting loose with it. So I wound up a little bit behind today. So I did this poll on my way here. I thought of it on my way here. So it makes no sense at all.
Okay.
As one might expect. So I want to know what is the most seemingly useless yet oddly helpful superpower of these absolutely random things you could be good at.
Transform into a bucket.
Uh-huh.
That's actually a real superpower. Isn't it the Wonder Twins? Don't they do that?
Shape of a bucket.
No, one was always water and one was always an animal.
Oh, okay. All right.
So if they were bucket of water, it'd have to be the water itself.
Oh,
so you can only turn into a bucket.
That kind of sucks, actually, now I think about it. Water, you only can take one. Well, I guess you can.
Well, 3. Water,
ice,
and steam.
But if you're a liquid water, then what happens? You're just everywhere. You need to be in some sort of a container.
Yeah, I mean, if the animal one, it sounds way cooler.
Oh no, my mortal enemy, a mop.
Right. Always been at thumb wrestling. Always important, I think.
That's useful.
No obscure facts. That's probably my actual superpower. And good at origami. I'm gonna say no obscure facts. What are you thinking, Ashton?
Oh man, I was thinking good at origami because I feel like there's so many uses of that. You could just make loads of throwing stars out of paper.
Okay, all right, fair enough. That is, that is a useful skill. I actually wish I knew how to do origami. Johnny, what about you?
Or you could.
So what? You give your enemies paper cuts?
Yeah, that's right. You really sharp paper, and then you have a paper cut in a really inconvenient place.
Oh, that's awful.
Right.
That sounds that's
or
awful.
you can irritate your friends by
the web
leaving.
of your feet. Oh. Ugh, that's gross. I don't like that.
In between your fingers.
God, that's awful. Don't do that.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. It's ow, is that bleeding?
Right.
No, it still hurts though. Ow.
Right, exactly. Not enough to draw blood, but just enough to irritate the hell out of you.
Ruin your entire week.
Johnny, what is your take on this one?
Honestly, I'm thinking no obscure facts because you're just one Jeopardy visit away from becoming a millionaire.
You're 100% right about that. That is you can use your powers for good and evil. I love that. All right, no obscure facts. Let's see what everybody's at on this one.
Oh wow!
67.7% of people agree.
You know what? a nerd audience would choose no obscure facts.
Yeah. I should have realized that. I was trying to pick things that were all like equally completely random, but for whatever reason that doesn't usually, there's always one that everyone decides is not as random as I think it is.
Right, yeah, no, that's fair. Well, you also, again, got to remember the audience, right?
Yeah.
They've probably thought about this too
Like,
at some
if
point.
I knew an obscure fact, I could.
I could, right. And I'm sure a lot of people like Jeopardy, like Johnny said.
I just want to catch up on a couple comments here real quick. Annie Fox saying, back to the conversation about Japanese fans earlier. She says she lived in Japan for 3 years when she was 11, 12, and 13. The only time she encountered excited Japanese fans was at an AC/DC concert when the crowd rushed the stage.
Oh.
Ooh, that's a fear of mine.
Yeah, it's kind of terrifying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She also says she's going to San Francisco Fan Expo in 10 days, so she gets to meet Lana Lang, so that's going to be awesome.
Which Lana Lang, Annie? Like,
I'm assuming the Smallville one?
I was about to say Smallville or the original, the one from the 80s movie, right? Yeah, she was in Superman 3, right?
Helen Slater?
Helen Slater, right, yeah.
See? Useless facts!
Useless facts, there you
There
go.
you go, that's
already a superpower. Already a superpower.
Steve White says that Thundercats action figure is cool, and he also agrees that he would like the no obscure facts as well.
There you go.
All right.
Thank you, Steve. All right.
I guess no one wants to make origami throwing stars.
Not nearly
with
as
me,
bad as you.
and that's fine.
But you know what? Then that means that you would be the villain of everyone's story.
I was actually just sitting here thinking, like, this episode right now is my villain origin story.
It's a villain origin story.
Like, I'm the one that's like, oh my god, throwing stars. Everyone's like, no, that's lame, stupid. I'd rather have knowledge.
Right, and then Ashton just goes back to her lab and starts making the sharpest origami you could possibly imagine. Meanwhile, we're all like spewing obscure facts to each other, and Ashton's just like bullseye.
Practicing it. Yeah, there's like a villain montage in there somewhere.
It really is. She's unstoppable.
Annie's also saying that the actress's name for Lana Lang was Kristen Kruk.
Oh yeah.
So that was the Smallville actress.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. I had a friend who had such a crush on her because of Smallville. Like he just would not shut up about Kristen Carew. I think it's Kristen Kruk or Kristen Carew. I can't remember, but yeah, that was the whole thing. All right, asinine arguments. Nope, we already did that. Comic shop shout out.
Just kidding. This week's comic shop shout out goes to Fully Booked in the Philippines, and this was sent in by Adrian. Braun Peñafil, which I hope I said that correctly. Anyway, if we will show you images inside of Fully Booked during the credits roll, you can check out inside of their shop and get a sneak peek. If you want us to shout out your local comic book shop on the show, find us on social media, tag your shop. If they don't have a handle, just leave their name and use the hashtag #SupportYourLCS. We'll find your local comic book shop, shout them out on the show, and give them some love.
Woo!
It's a mouthful
that was
every
good.
time.
That was really good, though. You broke it down. You got it right through it. This is your reminder to like, follow, and subscribe to me.
Potatoes.
Okay. Also potatoes. Also Previews World. You can hang out with me over at Previews World.
At Potatoes on Facebook, Twitter,
At Potatoes World. On Facebook, Instagram, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We just talk about potatoes. There was Dave Chappelle did a whole thing about potato hole this weekend on SNL, which I will not.
Oh, did he really?
I will not repeat it, but it's like as you said that, then it reminded me of that, and I was like, well, this whole section of the show is done. Where can they find you, Ashton?
At Free Comic Book Day on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
All right, and if you go to our websites, right, you can definitely find the gold titles for Free Comic Book Day as well. You also see actually on Free Comic Book Day's website, as well as Previews World, an interview for a book called Centralia from Living the Line.
Yeah, I saw that.
And this is kind of fun. This is interesting. It's a gold hunting adventure by artist Miel van de Piet. And he kind of, we did an interview with him where he talks about the book in some detail. I actually really enjoyed the artwork, actually. It's kind of, it's got a little bit of a small press expo feel to me anyway. It's just very artsy and very crafted, but it also looks very painterly. And like Neil's got this this concept that is kind of based off of real life.
Okay.
But he's kind of spun it into this fantasy adventure about this group of characters that are looking for gold in this town called Centralia that's burning on fire.
Oh, perfect.
It's always hot, right?
Good. Great.
So yeah, check it out. It's
Coming
from Living the Line. It's available to pre-order now, and yeah, you can get a little interview, get a little insight from our website by looking at the interview on PREVIEWSworld.com.
Did you see that angry bird on the chimney?
I did, yeah. I did.
Why is he so angry?
He's got an eyeball in his mouth, I think.
That doesn't seem like something to be angry about.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, you got the eyeball, right?
Exactly.
There you Free Comic Book Day. We mentioned the gold titles already. You want to remind people where the silver titles are going to land?
Yes. So tomorrow, 1 o'clock p.m., Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and the Free Comic Book Day website. So we have all of our bases covered, so you won't miss it. We'll be announcing the entire lineup for Free Comic Book Day. It'll be north of 40 titles. We'll run through the gold ones again in case you missed it or you just need a refresher, and then a set of brand new titles to make up this massive list of books you can get for free. May 6th, 2023 at your local comic book shop. That's the date. Mark your calendar.
Right. Look at that. Back to normal. First Saturday in May.
Right?
Gotta love it. No show next week because it is Turkey Day.
Oh, I'm so excited.
It's going to be Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that too.
God, I love the sides. Wait, what's your favorite Thanksgiving side?
It's probably stuffing or mac and cheese.
Good picks.
Edging
Solid.
mac and cheese. Edging mac and cheese a little bit more forward for sure.
All right.
But it's really the combination of the two that it's just like I could just eat this forever.
That's fair.
I'd probably die, but that's fine.
And, I mean, you'd be happy. I like mashed potatoes.
Okay. No, I mean, you know what? Mashed potatoes are also, not enough mashed potatoes in my life, actually, now I think about it. You can't really replace good mashed potatoes. No. That's a good call, actually. I respect that. Johnny.
Yeah.
Favorite side?
I actually don't have a favorite side. I have a favorite dessert.
Ooh,
okay.
All right,
what is
let's
it?
hear it.
But it's weird.
Love that.
First of all, pumpkin pie.
Of course,
Fair.
a classic.
But the way I eat it is I scoop out the pie filling, leaving the crust. And then when I'm done, I take just a bunch of Cool Whip and pile it onto the crust and have like a Cool Whip pie.
Wait, so you eat the filling by itself first?
No, well, I eat that with Cool Whip, but then I scoop that out, leave the crust, and then put just a bunch of like Cool Whip on top of the crust.
He just layers it.
Oh, okay. I see.
He's trying to get more bang for his buck.
It's a Cool Whip pie.
It's a Cool Whip pie, right, exactly. I respect that, actually.
Everyone loves Cool Whip.
A Cool Whip. Ooh, whip. All too Stewie voices.
I'm just talking about Cool Whip.
Cool Whip. Why do you say it like that? All right.
And apparently, Ubaldo likes potatoes.
Potatoes. That's my Samwise Gamgee.
What's potatoes, precious?
Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
There you go. Look, see, this is why we have a show together, guys. It's just like, look at the trifecta. We just did two impressions back to back to back, all three of us.
Ubaldo's saying Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Ubaldo.
Steve White saying great show, guys. Have a good day.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Steve.
you too.
Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been Previews World Weekly. I'm one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen.
I'm your other host, Ashton Greenwood.
And we'll see you all, not next week, but the week after next, at the Spinner Rack. Catch you later.
Come on.
Be sure to pick up a copy of this month's Previews catalog to see all the amazing pop culture goodies that you can pre-order at your friendly local comic shop.
Hey comic book fans, Ashton here for Free Comic Book Day. Free Comic Book Day 2023 is coming to comic shops on Saturday, May 6th, so be sure to mark your calendars. It's bound to be one of our best yet. Now, it's finally the moment you've all been waiting for. We're going to reveal the 13 gold sponsor comics which you can get for free at all participating comic shops on Free Comic Book Day. So, let's jump right in. First up, from Aftershock Comics is Seismic Stories. Get a first look at the all-new original graphic novel that explores what happens when a ragtag group of teens accidentally release an unknown darkness from an abandoned house. Next, from Archie Comics is Archie Horror Presents The Cursed Library. This Free Comic Book Day special aims to get to the bottom of why and how Riverdale has been such a hotbed of cruel monsters, unusual events, and terrifying tales. From Boom Studios comes Ranger Academy. This bold new take on the Power Rangers mythology is the start of an epic saga perfect for longtime Rangers fans and new readers. From Dark Horse Comics is The Umbrella Academy and The Witcher. In The Umbrella Academy, the superpowered siblings must stave off a universe-shattering cosmic horror. In The Witcher, Geralt sets out to uncover why women are turning into frogs. Next, from Dynamite Entertainment is Red Sonja, She-Devil with a Sword #0. Dynamite is celebrating Red Sonja's landmark 50th anniversary on Free Comic Book Day with an exclusive, brand new Red Sonja adventure. From Graphics is Dogman and the League of Misfits. Celebrate 25 and a half years of all ages hijinks with Dav Pilkey's beloved characters Dogman, Captain Underpants, Petey the Cat, and more. From IDW Publishing is Star Trek, the exclusive prelude to IDW's very first Star Trek summer crossover event. From Image Comics comes Fish Flies, the newest series from Eisner Award-winning creator Jeff Lemire. When a child running away from home befriends a monster, she sets off a chain of strange events and bad omens. Next, from Kodansha Comics is the all-ages Gold Sampler. Get a sneak preview of the manga adaptation of a worldwide Netflix hit, which will be announced at Anime NYC. Plus, a backup story of the adorable all-ages manga Lovely Muko. From Marvel Comics comes Amazing Spider-Man Venom #1. With the dangerous Meridius readying for war, the stage is set for catastrophe, and this year's Free Comic Book Day will mark the beginning and end of the symbiotes. Also from Marvel Comics is Avengers X-Men #1. This issue features a pair of all-new stories that set the stage for the next evolution in mutant adventures, Fall of X. It also introduces an uncanny new lineup for a new team book launching next year. Next, from Titan Comics is Conan the Barbarian. This Free Comic Book Day special focuses on a young Conan as he dreams of a life of adventures and envisions all of the future journeys that he will eventually encounter throughout his fabled career. And finally, from Viz Media is Chojin X and Rooster Fighter. In Chojin X, two inseparable best friends are attacked by a superhuman mutant, leaving one of them to transform into a Chojin. In Rooster Fighter, a determined rooster fights to save humanity from roaming monsters. There you have it, comic book fans. Those are all 13 of the gold sponsor comics you can get for free at participating comic shops on Saturday, May 6th for Free Comic Book Day. But that's not all. There are more books coming to Free Comic Book Day 2023. We'll be announcing the rest of the lineup on Thursday, so stay tuned for the rest of the awesome books you can get for free. And in the meantime, be sure to head over to freecomicbookday.com to see all of the available titles and to find a participating shop near you. Until then, I'm Ashton, and I'll see you at the comic shop.